despite what is going on in our country. We all hope that all will be well. My name is Jelina Nashupai, Programs Coordinator, Profit Acumen. I take this opportunity to welcome you to our second quarter Money Coaching Hub session. So I also trust that you're in a place with minimal distraction so that you can fully utilize the session. And then I also kindly request you that you remain muted unless you'd like to speak or ask a question. Since we have a number of our clients who want to make it tonight, to join us tonight, and we'll be relying on the recording. So you can ask, you can raise up your hand, and Edith will be more than willing to give you a chance to speak or ask a question or ask a clarification. You can also be typing your questions in the chat, any point of clarification in the chat. She'll also be stopping once in a while to check into that. I also request that if we can use our names, the surnames, so that if Edith would like to address us, she's able to address us as using our surname, because I don't know who SWN is, and so we can use our surname so that she can easily refer to us in case she would like to, and in case we have a question, she can also address us with our names. And with that said, maybe just before I hand over to Edith, I just want to read aloud one of the wealth affirmations in my money journal. It's one of the books I just feel like rereading and rereading once, I don't know how many times. So there's this wealth affirmation that states, I have the power to shift my mindset and create new things that will serve me better by having faith and taking action. So thank you for taking an action, for registering for to our today's session. That is one of the bold steps you have taken. So karibuni sana, and over to you, Edith.
Excellent. What a way to start us off. Thank you so much, Jelina. That was very uplifting. I feel very energized. Like Jelina says, despite what is happening in our country, we are all in solidarity, and we pray. We pray that all this will have a positive outcome for the benefit of everyone. And we'll start the Money Coaching Hub. I want to welcome those who are joining us for the first time. Yeah, and we'll get to know each other as we go along. Feel very welcome to Profit Acumen. Our topic for this quarter is Rise Above the Breadline as a sole breadwinner. We'll understand more on this. But before I go into the heart of our discussion today, I'd like to introduce us for the sake of the new members. I'm Edith Sidondo, a certified money coach, founder and CEO of Profit Acumen. Profit Acumen is a money coaching firm. I'm an author of my money journal, the book Jelina was referring to. If you don't have your copy, I encourage you to get one. It's a hands-on guide for you and your money. And I host the Candid Money Talk. Again, I encourage you to subscribe, because in that Candid Money Talk, you benefit from educative videos on money matters. Money is something you can't just learn in one session. You have to consistently enhance your learning in a very valuable and useful forum like the Candid Money Talk. Then I write in the Money Maker segment in the with the Standard Media. I serve in 2 boards, Purchase Insurance. I chair the Audit and Risk Committee, and then Strathmore University Council. So Profit Acumen is a money coaching firm. We work with professionals like you to help you maximize your earning ability. Yeah, go beyond the ordinary, the conventional way of making money, to go to the maximum that you can do as an individual, using your education, your experience, and your expertise. And as you make that money, you equally transform how you relate with it so that it doesn't control you. So how do we help people do this? With the money that you've already made. As you work, you are maybe employed or you are in business, you make money every single day. How can you maximize it? By making it work for you. Yeah, work for you through investments, having an ideal portfolio, or also using your valuable financial assets, what you've learned, what you know, what you are good at, what you excel in, what you have. How can you use that to also give a solution to a problem that you consistently earn more? So one of the taglines that I use to just remind me that I need to maximize myself financially is I earn daily. You need to earn daily because expenses are a daily affair. There's no day you wake up and there's no expense on your table. So you need to earn daily. Allow me to just share with you, actually to clarify the difference between financial planning and money coaching. Financial planning will look at your outer manifestations around money, your income, your expenses, your debt, your investments, your giving. Money coaching is a combination of psychology of money and financial planning. It's a step-by-step process that helps you to peel back the layers of your subconscious to establish how you're hardwired around money. Why is that important? Because it has an effect on the results you'll have on your financial planning. That's why we say that a successful financial plan begins on the inside and works its way out into the material world. You'll not see the money in your bank account that you've not seen within you. The game starts within. So the Money Coaching Hub, that's it for in terms of introduction. The Money Coaching Hub is a collaborative learning space within Profit Acumen. So a collaborative learning space for professionals. We meet every quarter and we cover different aspects. And most of the things we cover have been requested for by the members of the hub, including the topic of the day. So it's also a forum for networking. It's a forum for having that support. It's a support group so that we all journey towards our financial freedom in a very structured manner. A massive welcome and thank you for being with us today. So the topic of the day, rise above the breadline as a sole breadwinner. So breadwinner or bread bearer or sometimes loan provider, sole provider, it has many names, is the person who is the primary earner. So you may find you have a spouse, but they are not the primary earner. You are the primary earner, the person who provides majority of the household income. That is the breadwinner. Traditionally, the breadwinner role has been associated with men. Though, like we all know, this dynamic is evolving and more women are taking on primary earner responsibility in households. So, I was looking, as I was preparing for this session, I was really looking for some research and research that has been done on this new development around household incomes. And I could only find a good, something more concrete in Washington, D.C., the Pew Research Center. And they did some research for the period spanning from 1997 to 2022. And what they were looking at is the growth in the number of women who are now breadwinners or are equally sharing and contributing in the financial income of the home. And how did they summarize their findings? So they have an article dated 11th of April 2023. And in that article, or rather in that publication, they say that Black wives, yeah, so they looked at this research in different demographics. Now, the one I picked was the one on race and ethnicity. So they say that Black wives, that was their findings, that Black wives and college graduates, which I believe is who we are here. Most of us are Black wives, college graduates in one form or another, are more likely than other wives to be egalitarian and breadwinner wife marriages. Yeah. So if you are to get married as a Black woman and you're a college graduate, you're more likely to be in a marriage scenario where you're equally egalitarian, means it's shared responsibility. Yeah. Or you're a breadwinner in your union. So the demographics they are looking at here were, in the US, they have all forms of marriages. So the one that I focused on was opposite sex marriage. Yeah. So primary earners in opposite sex married households, their demographics are where husbands earn. So if you look at the colors up there, husbands earn more, wife earn more, spouses earn the same, the egalitarian structure. So they looked at Asians, Blacks, Hispanics, and whites. So when you look at the Blacks, and I didn't pick out the graph from 1997. I just picked out the findings of 2022. You can see the graph is going up. More women are now breadwinners. More women are equally sharing in household income. So if you find yourself in this situation, yeah, it's the reality, not only in your home. And these demographics of the US are more likely here. It's just that now in Kenya, getting this kind of research and publications is very difficult. But if it's to be done, you may find the demographics are very close in terms of it's no longer the man who is the breadwinner. So women are now out earning and making same as their husbands or their spouses in nearly half of the marriages. Although men are still the breadwinner in most households, the share of women making just as much or more than their husbands is nearing tripling if you look at the last 50 years. So my question to you is, what are the key factors driving the rise of women as primary breadwinners? And you can just share what your thoughts are around this. What is leading to women either getting into egalitarian or becoming primary breadwinners? Though I'm more keen on primary breadwinners, what is leading to that? Who would like to share? Let's share openly. It's a collaborative space. Yes, Dr. Eva.
Hi, Edith. Hi, everyone. I think
Hi.
one of the things, of course, that has been happening is that we women are becoming more educated, more empowered. Systems are sort of opening up for our success, and therefore we are able to climb higher, professionally speaking. And in the process, I don't know whether I should say sadly or not, but in the process, then we are out achieving men, out succeeding men. So we tend to find that we are making more money, we are more capable. So yeah, so I think we're especially you mentioned graduate students. So yeah.
Yeah, that is one key point. Thank you, Dr. Eva. Lucy, I don't know whether it's Dr. Ngede,
Yes,
but yes.
yes.
Okay. Welcome.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
In addition to what Dr. Eva is saying, I also see like a majority of households or a good percentage of our urban households are single mother households. And basically the women have to go out and fend for themselves and for their children. And even if they do end up somehow in full households where maybe they have now spouses, they have been independent for a long time and they have control of the household already. Yeah.
Yeah. Quite true. And single motherhood is driven by many factors. Dr. Ngede, it could be you just got a child, and the relationship, I don't know, never worked out, or you've gone through a separation, a divorce, or you're even widowed early. Nowadays, deaths are happening at early ages than before, where you'd assume a spouse would die at old age. Yeah, we are very young widows right now. So primary breadwinners, many women are primary breadwinners driven by that.
Yeah.
And I have something here on the chat. Thank you, Dr. Ngede, from Natalie. She says, a lot of focus on the girl child in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. Who would like to comment on that further? There's a point in there. Yes, Esther. Welcome, Esther, from Uganda.
I think I comment on that girl child, and the campaign on the girl child has been quite prevalent that it left the boy child behind. A lot of emphasis was put on education for girls, provide sanitary materials for girls, school fees, bursaries, a lot of it was done for girls. So it left the boy disempowered. And what happened is now, even with that generation, that is happening, but to the older generation, the men are disempowered because they have lack of role models. That's one thing, responsibilities, lack of role models who made them be man enough. Women, we were always taught, be the one in the kitchen, be the one preparing this. You're responsible for the family. What happened to the boy child or the boy? Oh, you sit in the sitting room. Boys are not supposed to cook. Boys are not supposed to do this. So to break those gender social norms has become hard, and that disadvantaged boys, empowered girls, and so women are being found now to be of the primary breadwinners in family situations. Thank you.
Right on point, yeah. How they were brought up and how we were brought up. You are taking the lead. A young girl would take care of a whole family. Yeah, from school, you are navigating the kitchen, navigating homework. The boys are playing outside. And now we are seeing the repercussions in our homes. So the rise of women, thank you for those very useful contributions. So the rise of women as primary breadwinners is considered one of the key outcomes of women empowerment. So women empowerment is generally a positive and beneficial thing. It's not something bad. Sometimes it can take a negative connotation, but generally it's a very positive thing. Why? Because It brought out, it ensures gender equality, upholding women's basic human rights of education, economic opportunities, improved societal outcomes. You can see, actually, you find even they say behind a successful man, you'll always find there is a woman. Yeah, empowered women as agents of change. Women have done a lot in terms of change, personal fulfillment and autonomy, that suppression of the woman, and all this is dealt with by empowering that woman and dismantling the patriarchal structure. Like in Africa, this has been a big issue, yeah? That patriarchal structure entrenched in our cultures where women are not to be seen, they are not to be heard, yeah? And many women have now than before. But then, this women empowerment and breadwinner roles also presents certain challenges that we cannot ignore, because life is just not about money only and being financially, thriving financially. We have an integrated, well-rounded life. We have a whole wheel of life that touches on our social, spiritual, our career, our physical, mental, all that. So one of the key challenges of a woman as a primary breadwinner is on societal and cultural challenges. Yeah, so here you are, you're dealing with maybe a whole community who a woman has never worked. The most a woman did was she was a teacher in a home. Maybe your mother was a teacher in a primary school somewhere. Now you are a CEO of this, of the other. So confronting deeply ingrained cultural norms and traditions that perpetuate gender stereotypes and resistance to women in breadwinning roles, or dealing with social stigma and negative perception associated with women who defy traditional gender roles, yeah? So more or less, there are certain cultures who have defined the woman's place to be more or less in the home and nowhere else. Yeah, experiencing lack of a positive role model or mentors who have done this before. Because who are the role model? They are people who are like our mothers. Yeah, and our mothers, you find most of them didn't go very far career-wise. Yeah? So you lack those role models. So I want to go deeper and maybe comment further on the stereotyping and stigma, because sometimes the stereotyping and stigma is not from outside, but it's from within you. It's from within you, and that's what keeps you stuck. So here, when we talk about stigma, is a negative perception, attitude, and belief around something. For example, a negative perception around living with a man who is not as financially empowered like you are. So you have a stigma around it. Yeah. And this stigma involves labeling, stereotyping, devaluing, and perceiving it as an undesirable position to be in. So there are three key characteristics of, the stigma and stereotyping, there are three key characteristics of stereotyping. One is overly generalized, overgeneralization, where stereotyping it takes a few perceived characteristics of a group and apply them to all members of that group. For example, you again using the same example I've just used, where if a man in a marriage or in a union, the man needs to earn higher. That is an overgeneralization. And it doesn't carry the, actually for me, even as a young girl, I was misled with that overgeneralization. And that assumption that a trouser equals to earning more and providing more. Yeah, it may not be. Yeah. Then again, rigidity. Yeah, Stereotypes are resistant to change. So you carry this burden and this mindset in your head that this is how things should be, but the reality you're living is something else. Or oversimplification, yeah? Wanting life or scenarios to be black and white. It's either this or that, rather than acknowledging the nuances and complexities that happen around things to do with maybe union, life, provision, yeah? So again, prejudicial attitude and lack of individuality, not looking at people as individuals, as who they are. Yeah, you generalize and say maybe men, women, like that. So stereotypes can arise from various sources, including exposure, limited exposure, cultural biases, media portrayals, societal conditioning, all that can lead to stereotyping. So people may not say anything about your circumstance, but you may be the one carrying that message in your own head. So what are the effects of this stereotyping and stigma on women breadwinners? Number one is it undermines your self-confidence and self-worth. So you'll find you may sabotage yourself from going all out just so that you keep up with the pace of maybe your partner, or maybe, like I see most of you here are PhD holders, and maybe you want a partner and you look in the PhD level angle or level of men, they are just not there. Or the ones who are there are already married or whatever. Then now you want to hide that fact of I'm a PhD holder, so that, I don't know, you feel uncomfortable. Yeah. So you're the one stereotyping that. Yeah. Nobody has said this or the other. Yeah. Or this may also lead to marital and relationship tensions. Stereotypes about a woman's role as the breadwinner can create conflict and power imbalance within relationships, or potentially leading to resentment, communication breakdown, and even domestic abuse. And as I talk about this, it can also cause some level of self-tension when searching for a partner. You begin thinking, you start weighing how much are they earning, or how much are they, what role are they? Are they a manager, yeah? Or are they, what rank? So you keep trying to equate the bank account to whether this is a suitor or not, yeah? Or social isolation or lack of support. Our environment still doesn't embrace this very much. In fact, you'll find that many women who are breadwinners in their homes, they do it very quietly. Nobody knows that they are doing it. Why? Because of feeling isolated, or maybe people start feeling sorry for you. Yeah. And it can also lead to career limitation due to fear. Maybe you fear rising up the ladder just in case it accentuates, it magnifies a problem that, according to you, already exists. So then it also leads to mental health issues, because you're here dealing with outside pressures, some pressures that are within you, the stress of navigating this societal expectation. It can take a toll on you because you're also human. It can lead to increased level of anxiety, depression, burnout. And lately, I actually notice it's even having an impact on children, where the woman is the breadwinner and it's known to the children, and the children talk to others. And, it can actually bring some level of esteem and pressures, peer pressures around children. And then also, some children may find it difficult to embrace things like marriage because they feel if this is it, where I'm the mother and I'm the one taking care of everything, then I'd rather not. Yeah. So it has an impact on children also. So this persistence of stereotype and stigma reinforces the idea that women's primary role should be in the domestic sphere rather than as a primary income earner. So it perpetuates that inequality gender roles, which is not very helpful. Other challenges are psychological. Psychological, it causes role strain, balancing the demands, because it can be very demanding, yeah? To be a professional woman and also a caregiver. And then being the African man, if you're married to an African man or you're dating an African man or whatever, you may find that they don't help. They don't assist. They have not been wired to even understand what happens in the kitchen. Yeah, I remember personally facing this in my own marriage, where I noticed when we were initially married, my husband could not go to the kitchen. And I used to wonder, what's the problem entering the kitchen? And he was actually told by his mom, the kitchen is not for men. And so we had to slowly wean him into understanding that you can enter the kitchen. Yeah. So men may not adequately assist at home. So when you come home again, you have to roll your sleeves, start the whole process again. Yeah. Or relationship dynamics, what I mentioned earlier of the power imbalance, tension, and conflict, especially if the person you are with is not open, that doesn't operate with an open mind. Then work-life integration, the pressure to succeed professionally while also managing family obligations. One of the things I notice crosses this pressure also is that women, there's still that gender wage gap that exists in the workplace, where you'll find a woman is doing a certain role similar to a man, but they'll not earn the same. Women will still earn lower. So for a woman to attract a certain amount of money, they have to really work hard. So that puts a lot of pressure on you. At the same time, you have family obligations that can take a toll on you mentally. Then physical challenges, the health effects because of stress, burnout, exhaustion, and you can even find you neglect your self-care. Then financial challenges, the wage gap I've talked about, caregiving penalties, you have to really pay your family in your absence. And even if even if you have a partner, you still need to have somebody who does the house chores or whatever. Sometimes you even have a home where you have 3 workers to get these things moving so that you can hold on to your job. Yeah. Then it can also lead to vulnerability to poverty, because as a sole breadwinner, it means everyone is looking at you. Sorry, Jelena, help me to mute. Thank you. Thank you. So you are very vulnerable to poverty because, like Warren Buffett says, that if your only source of income, if you only have one main source of income, your 1 degree, you're how many degrees away to poverty? You're very close to poverty, because anything happens to this main source of income, you're done. So you're very vulnerable to get into poverty. So how do you effectively navigate this to overcome so that you can rise above the breadline? So most women, apparently, the reason why being a breadwinner becomes very stressful for women is that most women are in denial. Yeah, they have not really embraced that there are different ways that this life can be lived, that it's not a must. Of course, it's the ideal way that the man should provide, but it can be something else. So many women have not embraced and accepted that we are in a unique space, that the whole effect of woman empowerment has consequences. And part of the consequences is I may earn more. Again, we've not embraced some of the contributions you are making that the boy child, the man maybe in my life or whoever I got the baby, my children with. So you may find you're a single mother, you're not co-parenting because you're separated for whatever reasons, and you're not co-parenting because the spouse is just not coming in for anything. They only have the name as the father of the child. So you're there, and you're the one carrying all the burden. So many women carry this with a lot of bitterness because some of these norms and all these nuances that have changed, they have really not embraced to actually accept. Their minds are still operating in what they saw maybe in their home, where their father was providing, and their mother was maybe a junior person. Yeah, the father's income was what was running the home. So you find many women still live in denial and resort to hiding their struggle, which can lead to burnout, resentment, and inability to make meaningful change. So you find you resent your home, you resent your circumstances, you're always complaining about it, you carry it with a heavy heart. Yeah? And some resign to their circumstances, believing that there is no viable solution. So you more or less surrender the person there, let them navigate themselves as I lead my life. Either of the two does not help. Yeah. So how do you then carry this positively in a way that you rise above the breadline? You still achieve your financial goals, but from a place of fulfillment within your circumstances. So the first thing is to acknowledge your reality, but don't resign yourself to it. Acknowledge that this is my life. I am a single mother. I am married to a man who does not provide. Or I am the breadwinner because I did a master's, or I was exposed faster than my spouse. Whatever caused your situation, you need to acknowledge your reality. Once you accept, because acknowledging means it gets you to a place of acceptance that this is what it is. It means then you release the box of expectation because you'll be entering your home every day. You enter a home where you are the sole breadwinner, but your mind is in a home where there is a man providing everything. So you are always in this conflict. But once you accept, you release yourself from this box of expectations and you allow yourself to live your circumstances with peace and a more renewed energy. So with that, it means if you have a partner, if you're married, you can then begin to explore non-traditional roles and arrangement. Come out of this stereotype and way that has been defined that doesn't fit into your circumstances. So be open to non-traditional work arrangements for your partner, such as freelancing, part-time. You know that person better. What can they do? Yeah. And for some unions, it has even worked where the man is a stay-at-home man. Yeah. So based on your circumstance, you can figure out and see. Then discuss possibilities of shared and reversed breadwinning role model, where responsibilities and earning potential are distributed. So this is easier said than done because it depends on the person, yeah? If they're willing to collaborate and to discuss this. Because sometimes even the stereotype is in the head of the man, where they always look at you as a competition, as a pain, a power struggle. So you cannot even get into a space of discussing, yeah? So if you have that chance, collaborate to find creative solutions, yeah, that works for your union. But this needs you to really reevaluate your priorities, because this is one area that has even caused separation, has caused, the separations and divorce, because the mind of either of you, both of you, just doesn't reconcile to this structure that as a woman, I'm the breadwinner. So reevaluate your priorities. When you look at yourself, what really matters to you? In this journey called life, it's only one journey. You'll not live another journey. You'll only live this journey called life here on earth. What matters most to you? Assess whether the relationship provides the level of companionship, respect, and collaborative problem solving that you truly desire. Yeah, that union, that connectivity to somebody, fulfilling partnership, does that mean anything to you? If that means something to you, then it's worth working on this relationship. Or if you're single and maybe you're searching, maybe reevaluate your priorities and see, do I need to now continue looking for somebody who is equating to my PhD or doctorate or my role or earns my level? Or do I now open my mind and embrace the person in the person? Because I'm looking for someone who is a companion, who will respect me and love me the way I am. Yeah. So you open your mind, you reevaluate your priorities and not go with the norms that have been set. Families have survived and can survive, and unions can survive in the woman being the breadwinner. So this needs you to open your mind and consider your partner or potentials, abilities beyond traditional career paths and business ownerships. So expand your perspective on contribution. The life is broader than just bringing the bread in the home. Once the bread is brought, a lot has to be managed around it. So expand your perspective on what else can this person contribute in this home. Yeah, recognize that your partner's values and contribution to the household may extend beyond financial earning. It's possible. Consider their potential to take on domestic responsibilities, and again, they need to be warm up to it, or you need to warm them up to it, depending. And appreciate the emotional, social, logistical support they can provide, even if it's not directly tied to income generation. So let's not operate from a very fixed mind. And with that, you lose every other thing and the richness of ordinary life because you are fixated in one place. So again, on embracing an open and adaptive mindset is to challenge the gender norms constructively. Constructively means you need to look at your circumstance uniquely and assess, is it that this man is not, or whoever this person is, I am a breadwinner because they are lazy, they just love to sit and be comfortable? Or is it a genuine concern where they lost their job, or actually one of the reasons of women becoming breadwinners is job loss. Many men are losing jobs. Yeah. So they've lost their job, they are looking, or they've lost and they have not been looking, or what exactly? Assess your situation constructively and then challenge the gender norm based on your situation, yeah? And see what makes sense. So life is rarely a simple linear path. It may present itself in shades of gray, offering both challenge and opportunities. Just as life may hand you lemons, it's your attitude and adaptability that can help you produce lemonade out of your lemons. Otherwise, you'll just end up being one more bitter woman there in the streets who complains about how men are this or the other. Yeah. Then cultivate flexibility and willingness to adapt to your circumstance and needs that change over time. So other than just simplifying and rejecting that, if I'm put in a position of breadwinner, I remember one of my very close relatives telling me that we were preparing for her wedding, and the activities were taking place in my house, and she told me, I can never stand a man who is not providing. And true to it, they got married, the man lost his job, and she walked away. Yeah, you see now, does this mean and later the man got a job? But you see, I don't know how to comment much about it, but not to go with that stereotype mind. Okay, so by keeping an open mind and embracing a more expansive view of your partner's abilities and potential contribution, you can create a more balanced, fulfilling, and a collaborative dynamic as a woman breadwinner. And I tried to get some examples of women who've done this. I just didn't get time to pick them out, but I know of a lady who was a CEO of Coca-Cola. I know, and they came up and just said their men were doing this as they were top in this career, and somehow their marriages lasted. Then clarity. Yeah? Clarity on your priorities. What matters to you as you navigate that complexity of being a sole breadwinner. It's crucial to take the time to deeply reflect on your true priorities. Yeah, your true priorities. And I think I had mentioned this, and I'll not go deeper into it. Then clarity on your life cycle. Where am I? Where am I as of this time? Yeah, as you navigate that complexity of being a sole breadwinner, it's good to take stock of where you are in the traditional life sequence. Are you in a job? At what point are you in this job? Are you in child rearing stage? Are you empty nesting? Are you a widow? Are you divorced? Are you separated? Yeah. Consider, yes, Indra, Lebo, yes, that lady, the lady of Coca-Cola. Lebo was just sharing the name in the chat. So what stage am I in the traditional life sequence? What major life events have I experienced so far? For instance, I've gained certain education, I'm married, or I'm in this stage in my marriage, I'm a parent of teenagers, or I'm a parent of young children, I'm soon retiring, I've experienced a job loss. Understanding the major life events that you're going through. And then what are the potential financial implications that are likely to come with my current life cycle, the current life cycle that I am in, and the life events that I've experienced. So if I may give an example, you may find you're in this marriage. Most of us here are averagely in the ages of average 50 years. And you've been in this space where you've been a sole breadwinner for over 20 years plus, almost 30 years. And here you are, still expecting a miracle to happen that will just change things for you. Of course, we must live in hope. But you see, the moment you live with that mind, it means you end up not doing something about that situation. Yet, if you opened your mind a bit more and think differently, accept where you are, acknowledge the life event stage you are in, you begin doing something about it. For instance, preparing for your retirement, knowing you are the sole breadwinner, taking care of your debts so that they are repaid, than fighting every day the debts are not paid. Yeah. So you just take up the mantle and run with it. Because sometimes you'll be stuck there waiting and quarreling and waiting for things to change, and nothing changes. Yeah. So again, we've said, you don't resign to it, you do something about it, but you also be very present that in this situation, is there anything to be done about it? And If it's something being done about, is it something that can generate, or am I just keeping this person productive? Yeah, so that you don't put financial attachments or financial expectation where no money is likely to come out and you get stuck. And that takes me to the next point on clarity on your numbers, the financial position of your household, whether you're single, whether you're married. You have to embrace your family circumstances, your household circumstances with a money conscious mindset, very alive to the numbers. And a money conscious mindset starts by aligning your money goals to your earning model. Yeah. So here you are, maybe you know that I need to have a home up country. I need to have a home in the city. I need to have investments of this amount. I need my children to go to these schools. I need to travel on retirement. I need to generate this kind of money, right? Whatever you wake up to do now on a day-to-day basis, you being the primary breadwinner, how is it taking you to these expectations, these desires? Yeah, you need to connect the dots. You need to change how you think around what you want, the dreams, the prayers, and what you do, and the outcome of what you do. So connect the dots. Your earning ability, whatever you wake up to do every day, unless you got major inheritance from your parents or you've won a lottery, your earning ability represents 80 to 90% of your financial value, which means whatever I'm saying, the lifestyle I want, it can only come from what you wake up to do every day and how you play around the money that you earn every day. So it's a central part of how this journey will all end as regards the numbers. So achieving your money goals is dependent on your ability to maximize your earning ability. And I have a graph here that will speak to us about where we are in terms of age and what our income level should be. So the more you earn, the faster you get to your money goals, and the more you can begin to make your money work for you. So you have to start with the end in mind. Have that clarity of, when I look at me, I'm Edith, what is that lifestyle that makes sense to me? What does it entail to live that lifestyle to the end? Because sometimes we only finance that lifestyle now when I'm working with a paycheck, when I can wake up and do ABCD. A time will come when you may not be able to do that. I was not able to work for almost 3 months because I got this hip infection. It's called hip inflammation, and I couldn't sit. And my job involves sitting and talking, what I'm doing now. So what would that have meant if I had not structured my finances in a way that I have multiple streams of income, and it's not only speaking to you here that generates money? Yeah. So understand the desired lifestyle, the lifestyle you've designed right now for you and your loved ones. You've already put your loved ones in a certain lifestyle as the primary breadwinner. That lifestyle, without you waking up and working, how will it play out? It needs to play out the same way. You need to afford it. So how will you afford it? It means certain things need to change. Yeah? That lifestyle need to be covered for a lifetime. So it means you need to be present on your personal money key performance indicators. Most of you here are employed, and you may be having your key performance indicators that you are evaluated on every so often to determine maybe your bonus, whether you are performing, your promotion, and all this, yeah? Even when it comes to money, you need to have your personal money key performance indicators. Often what is sold most when it comes to managing money is budgeting. That is so basic. That is very basic. That is just the start of it. Just understanding what has come in and what has gone out, that is not enough. You must have you go deeper, at a deeper level to understand what is this that tells me my financial position. Just at a go. For instance, saving rate. The way you are saving, if you look at how you're saving, how many years of retirement are you earning? Like the image I have here, for instance, if you're saving at 10% per annum, you're earning 0.1. You're earning 0.1 of retirement, whatever 0.1 is over a year. That's what you're earning of retirement. Then you ask yourself, is this sufficient? Does it mean I have to work 9 years for me to earn 1 year of retirement? Does that make sense? Do I need to relook at this saving rate? How old am I? If we are averagely here 50 years, what is your retirement age in your company? And with this kind of saving rate, when are you going to retain that lifestyle that you're living without the job? So key performance indicators challenge your mind and take you into a different action. Then adjusted net worth. Yeah? Adjusted net worth. Why the word adjusted? Often people look at net worth, assets minus liabilities. Adjusted net worth adjusts the assets that are not income generating, which sometimes is what forms a big part of our portfolio. You find your money, you work so hard, and your money is tied in things that do not generate anything for you. So when you do your adjusted net worth, you can be able to see, I actually have many things in my name, but they mean nothing when it comes to cash flow. It's just good to say, I have that. And Kenyans, label, I don't know whether it's the same thing in Botswana. Esther is a Kenyan, though in Uganda. Kenyans, we are known to tie money in land, yeah, and real estate. How, in the event that you cannot earn the way you're earning now, can that feed you and your loved ones comfortably in that lifestyle that you, yeah, to be very present on your numbers. And the last one is your financial independence number. Your financial independence number. And this financial independence number, many people, when you ask them, what would you desire around money? They'll say financial freedom. I want to be free. What does that mean? In tangible terms, what does it mean? And this number, financial independence number, is what tells you what financial freedom means for you. It's the amount of money you need to live off the returns of your net worth without depleting your net worth. So let's say you have an apartment in town here in the city. That apartment generates for you 100,000 Kenya shillings per month. Lebo, just take your mind to Botswana and work with maybe $1,000. So it generates for you 100,000 Kenya shillings equivalent per month, $1,000 equivalent per month. So without selling that house, if your lifestyle is 100,000, then it means the returns in your investment of your investment is actually making you live your lifestyle without depleting your net worth. So this is it's a complex working to do, but it's important to know. That is why if you haven't enrolled for a program like the Money Fit Makeover, it's something worth thinking about. And I think there are people here who have done that program, the Money Fit Makeover, and they'll share with you the level of clarity. Someone like Esther, I think, the level of clarity you get when you go this level in terms of even how you wake up on a day-to-day basis, you're clear, what am I working towards? And where do I place my money? Because sometimes we are just saying, I'm investing. I have ICA, I have this, I have that. Where am I supposed to place my money so that it's an ideal portfolio that is taking me to my financial independence number? So your money goals, your earning models must equal your money goals. So the money you've already generated, what it does, what you make it do, should take you to answer to your KPIs. And what you're doing with your time, your skill, you should also channel it. You should place it within a system, a structure that directs you towards your financial independence number. So before I open for questions or something, I want us to look at this graph. This is net worth versus your age. What this graph indicates, and like I said, maybe we have a few of us who are in the accumulation stage of 20 years to 35. Most of us here are in the preparation stage of 35 to 60 years. What are we supposed to be doing here according to this graph? You can see is the time where we need to be earning the most. We should be in our peak earning years. And we need to have a greater capacity to save and to invest, because we are heading towards the retirement age where now our energies, all that becomes, many things come in terms of health, retirement has come in, or maybe your job has ended, all that. So your earning potential equally begins to decline. So how you play around this preparation stage really defines the life you live after. All right, so a few precautions that we need to take so that we are at the peak. We've said clarity. Clarity on the lifestyle, what makes sense to me. Clarity on the numbers, are they connected to the lifestyle? Then if they are not, what are the precautions I need to take to ensure that I have long-term financial security? One is to have a diversified income stream. Yeah, diversified income stream. Many sources of income. And I need to break down this. There is diversified income stream in terms of investing the money into different, a diversified portfolio, different instruments. But then there's also diversified income stream in terms of how I show up with my skill. How can I make my skill do more, different things, so that I earn from different places? So I'm increasing my earning ability. With that, I have more to take into my investments. So remember the three stages of growing money. We keep talking about this in this forum. It starts with attraction. I first attract. I attract to my maximum. Then once I've attracted to my maximum, the next step is to retain. That is what is called the saving. Then I grow by having an ideal investment portfolio that is aligned to my financial independence number. Then retirement planning. Retirement planning. Gone are the days where we have part of our retirement plan is to depend on our children. Really, I don't think any of the Gen Zs and the millennials and all these are ready for that. They are fighting for their own life. I don't think the plan is to, you have them, their name as part of your retirement plan. It means you need to plan your own retirement. Yeah. And as a primary breadwinner, you equally need to do what we call estate planning. Yeah. In your absence, what goes to who? Now that you are the one who has generated all this money, yeah, where does it go? You don't want that in your absence, all the money is thrown down the drain because you never planned. Yeah. Then regular financial reviews, and then also work with a money coach. It helps and saves a lot, because sometimes by the time people come to us, actually to me, the mistakes are a lot that could have been saved if only you came earlier. So I'll progress from there, but I want to take a break because this is a collaborative forum. I'd like to engage you a bit more just to hear what has spoken to you, any question, reaction from what we've covered. As I sip my water. I hope I'm not alone. You know, all the videos are off.
No, you're not alone.
Yes, Kate.
Maybe we can switch on the videos just to let you know we are here.
Yes, of course. I will. That really energizes me. I would be happy if your videos are on. Yes, Kate. Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mwikali. Oh, Lynette. Good to see you. Kate, take it away. I don't know whether Kate is able to talk. Okay, so let me leave Kate. I go to Celestina. Celestina, your hand is up.
Just affirming that I'm around.
Okay, good to have you. Oh, I unmute you. Kate is not able to unmute. How do I do that? Let me see. Kate, you're still not able to unmute? Okay, as Kate does that, it was Dr. Eva. Oh, she's struggling with WebEx.
And
Okay,
I'm
Dr.
struggling with the video today. You know, I like to have my video on. It doesn't want to be on today. So one of the things that I think you said towards the end is that you know, our retirement plan, or historically parents' retirement plans, have included their children supporting them. And of course, research is showing all indicators basically are showing that we are the last generation that will, in fact, we are the only generation that will both be supporting our parents in their retirement and our Gen Z children. So going forward, you know, we will not be their agenda, like you said. So anyway, I think when I saw that, I was sobered a bit, being the sole breadwinner in my family. And it makes it a bit of a daunting task or an overwhelming, sometimes it can be overwhelming, thinking about as you here may know that I'm actually living with both generations at the moment and supporting both generations at the moment. So it can be, I want to go back to 30 years ago, no, 60 years ago, so I can also count on my children. Just a comment.
Dr. Eva, oh, it's a reality check actually, yeah? Yeah, that it's not the same. It's not the same. Esther, thank you. Thank you for that, Dr. Nderu. I'm still trying to unmute Kate, but I don't know whether, Kate, is it possible you join with a different device? We try and see.
I think she said she has never used WebEx. So maybe, so Kate, on your left, there are 3 buttons. I don't know, there are 3 buttons, one written mute. So you can just press it to unmute yourself. Let's try that and then we see if that would help. There is one to start the video and there is one for the audio. So you can do both or just do one for
Oh, she says it's
unmute.
disabled.
Ah,
Why should it be disabled? I wonder. Would you like to come out and join back? We see whether it will work. Sorry about that, Kate. Maybe in the meantime, Esther. Oh, she says she joined 30 minutes late. Okay, Paule.
Okay. Thank you. I hope she gets through that technological hitch and we get to this. And we get to this. So for me, like I don't know, did you just take away or
just what you'd like to comment? Just it's a free discussion.
Yeah. The title is quite captivating. Your beginning, especially for me, it resonated well with me, and such talks I wish you would give to a bigger corporate crowd, especially like me being an expatriate and having to leave maybe a spouse behind or having to work and be the sole breadwinner. If somebody had told you the options and how you can be able to accept the gender roles and change them and have a good collaboration, I think it would have really worked. So if some of you in the audience are young people who are hoping to become expatriates, this is something that can really, really help you. And such induction, it's quite good for people to help them take up the sole breadwinning role positively and not feel that it's a burden. A coping mechanism where you looked at some people, I've seen in the expatriate life, there are some couples who decide I'll work for 6 months, then during the summer you'll work for 6 months. So that works a lot. But if that can also happen in our context, I think that would really help and we would have good collaboration between us in our relationships and in our marriages for those who are married. Then, you know, the wake-up call always of it's all up to you, you know. As you are the sole breadwinner, know that you are also the sole planner of retirement and you have to have your vision. You have to have your own clarity. And it is not an easy thing, but it's some decision that has to be made. You've given us the 5 pointers on how to financial precaution, and this is quite good. I'm glad I'm in part of the programs that are working and geared towards this. And every day when I wake up, I'm thinking, you know, what is it I can do better? How is it I can better? And I appreciate because I'm doing this not alone. I'm doing this with my husband also. And it is really helping us quite a bit. And I'm hoping that in a few years, you are nicely saying we're in the 50 bracket, but I'm about 55. So I'm in the bracket of gathering in another program I did called Consolidating Window, where you can your assets. It's not the right time for me to start buying things like a young person is doing. It's consolidating and seeing how it can go better and how the results window will look at when we are 65 years old. So thank you for that. And I'd encourage you to join programs.
Yeah, actually, Esther has done the money, part of the program she's doing, it has covered the Money Fit Makeover, where now they are looking at their family finances based on key performance indicators as opposed to just budgeting. Esther, maybe just share a bit on what difference that made for you, how you are doing it before, because before you were budgeting, weren't you?
Oh my God, but before it was, talking about budgeting, what have we spent our money on? Not really. We called it budgeting, but it was expenditure. And when you get the difference between budgeting and expenditure, and when you supported us through the Excel of putting it and seeing it in reality for the home, what you actually spend, then you come and see your KPIs. For both of us, it was a shocker. It was a big, big shocker. Yeah, because it was just expenditure, basically. In fact, it was expenditure. What our expense with my husband would sit down and expenditure, not necessarily budgeting. So this made a big difference. For now, we are aware, we know. We are trying to use the tools and trying to see that we keep ourselves dated and see what now we have to do to invest. And also the other thing that really helped in this is what we thought we were saving, we were not saving. That was another shocker. You think you're saving in the circle, you think you're saving with your chama, merry-go-round and this, and it's not really what's supposed to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Esther. So who was next? I saw Lillian or Lynette. One of you came first. Okay, Lillian, you can take it away.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Lillian.
For me, what resonated this evening, it's where you said, acknowledge your reality, but don't resign yourself. That for me, that one spoke a lot. That it's a personal makeover in my mind, in my spirit, that I have to work around myself, the attitudes, the traditional mindsets that I have, so as to be able to overcome that that stereotype around being a sole breadwinner. That one really resonated with me. However, I'm trying to figure out, even as I work around myself, my feelings within, is there a possibility of having of enabling the man? I'm trying to figure out that. Is there a possibility?
Very much so. In fact, that's what we are going on next. The last piece that we'll cover. Let me address it and answer it then, Lillian.
That's okay.
Yes. But that's an excellent question, which many professional women are doing unknowingly, enabling a situation. And actually, leave alone enabling, is your archetypal setting, your money archetypal setting, the way you're structured on the inside makes you attract someone who doesn't provide. So the whole process, that whole process is begun by how your money setup is within. So let me answer it then. So when you attract it, you bring it, so you can only retain it and enable it. Lynette.
Yeah, thank you, Edith, for this session and the ladies who shared a lot of takeaways. But of course, one of the things that I think for me, I am reflecting in my current season is really the estate planning, and also just appreciating specifically, my father who rested about a month ago and how he was able to do his estate planning. And I know that maybe because we are mostly women here, this is not a thing that we struggle with. But I have seen very many men specifically, really hold on until later dates.
So I am a product of, partly a product of what I would say my father did very well is estate planning. That of course has left me a bit challenged in that by the time I was starting to work, my father was already starting to say, this is what I have, what can you do with it? How can you build it? And this is a conversation I am starting with my 24-year-old daughter, who is really in that Gen Z. But equally, just like, I believe, was it Kate or Esther, the acknowledgement that even as my father was getting into that old age, there was part of me that still felt that I need to give something to my dad. So every time I would see him, or my parents, let me say, including my mom, I need to give them something, not because they were really much in need, but just because culturally we are raised to know that you are taken care of and now it's time to give back. And just that estate planning in terms of what do I give and in relation to my money archetype, and what do I leave for myself, so that then am I creating, as you say, the enabling behavior of maybe my children will not work hard enough because they know they have to be taken, and being in that middle generation of, you've got older parents and then you're in the middle, probably we are that generation that, is giving and we will never be given. So I think that's the takeaway that I'm going with in terms of at what point, how do I really plan my finances in a way that even as I am helping my children and allowing them to start to take over and, grow from it, then I'm also leaving myself enough and not finding myself throwing myself into the village just because, I have probably given too much based on my, money archetype or my personality. So that's going to be, a takeaway and something to reflect as we move, in the days ahead. Thank you.
First of all, Lynette, my condolences and my sympathies on the loss of your father. Jelina and I really tried getting you. In fact, we were very surprised to see you today. It's Pole Sana, and may Mze's soul rest with the angels and saints. And on your contribution, very closely connected to what Lillian contributed on the enabling. There's something you talked about on enabling. I'll cover it in the short session we'll have before we close. And also on what you've said about estate planning. Many, not just books, but in our space, in money coaching, women are known not to plan their estates. Yeah, women are known not to plan their estates. So it's something that we need to be more alive to, like Lynette says. Thank you. Okay, anyone else would like to say something? It would be great. Usually in this collaborative forum, we try to hear everyone's voice. Now, Kate speaks so well. I wanted to brag her to all of you, the way she speaks well. Now, her audio is not working. Natalie, hi Natalie.
Hi everyone. Hi Edith. Thank you so
Yes.
much for today's session. I think for me, sessions like this, it's kind of the way we go to the dentist or you go to the doctor every, half yearly or annually to have, a checkup. And that's the reality that hits you. I loved the graphs that you were sharing earlier around how much is it that we need to save? And this, we're only talking about saving at this point, not even investing, but save for our retirement, for 1 year in our retirement. And the numbers that you shared with us today were just so shocking. I was like, for a minute, I was a bit depressed. And then I was like, okay, but I can do something about it. So I think conversations like this are important because it gets us to pull our heads out of the sand. It's like not going for your mammogram screening or not going for health checkups and then, getting surprised. It's good to know. So I just encourage that we continue having these conversations. And I think the more real we are with the numbers are the ones that don't lie. The more we get out of our slumber.
Beautiful. Well said, Natalie. I'll not even add anything. Well said. Anyone else? I can see Sue here. I don't know which Sue it is. Sue, there's Grace Mandela, I hope. Grace Mandela. Oh, Malebogo, please take it away.
Hi, Edith.
Hi, Malebogo.
Good evening to everyone. I agree
Good.
with Natalie. This was a very timely session for me. In fact, I was laughing as I am at work. I decided to be at work so that I'm not distracted. And at home, at calling me and saying that the electricity has finished. So for me, it is such things that remind me that I am a breadwinner. But how you have positioned it, it has made me really think about it, not resigning myself to it, but seeing how to work around with the circumstances that I have. I think I've gained a lot from this discussion. And before the electricity request, there was also a colleague of mine who came and said I must help her edit her request for a review. Also a single mother. Now she's listening into this as I'm listening to the webinar. She says, this is not a discussion that I want to hear at this point. So for me, it's a very timely discussion. Thank you, Edith.
Oh, you're welcome, Malebogo. And my love to the children. All right, Grace.
Thank you so much, Edith. Thank you for a quite poignant session. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
But at the somewhere halfway in between there, I was in and out because I was trying to sort something out. But I think one of the things that you said, because I almost write verbatim what you said, was be real about what you are hoping for so that it does not stagnate your progress. And that's about clarity on your life cycle and just having money presence of mind, so to speak. So just to echo what everybody has said, this is quite a timely session. I think those people who have been saying, I will join. So eventually I decided, okay, let's just join because we all know that we need it. So thank you so much. And thank you for your commitment and being so patient to follow up. And so thank you. And I'm looking forward to learning a lot more.
Oh, you're very much welcome. It's great to have you, Grace. And we look forward to engage more. So as I conclude, I hope there's no one else who would like to speak and we've left them out. It's a session where we need to hear from each other because we learn from one another. So as we finish, one of the things that you cannot ignore when it comes to money, very much connected to what Lillian and was it Lynette spoke about, is your money patterns. Yeah, your money patterns. It's like the foundation of your money personality. When you say I must spend this or the other, all those are surface level, but there is an underlying. There is an underlying problem that is causing what you're seeing. So your money pattern is the primary saboteur to your financial freedom. Some of the things, for instance, you'll find, even if you come to me and I tell you this is the ideal portfolio for you, when you've not cleared out your money patterns, you may not see it clearly. So there is a connection between your patterns and your financial outcome. Financial planning only does 20% of the work, yet that is where we put all our efforts. And very few organizations do what we do, where we've moved from financial planning and we go into personal money key performance indicators. Often you find when you go for financial consultation, you are only left at the financial planning level. That does very little. Yeah? But your money patterns, transforming your money patterns, does 80% of the work. And I want to answer Lillian's question about enabling, which is something very prevalent with women, because many women have the matter money archetype as a very domineering archetype because of our nurturing nature. Women are nurturers, we are caregivers, we are empathetic, we are compassionate naturally. Also because of the motherly role. Yeah, if you look at the motherly role, it's very nurturing and compassionate. So with that, we easily take it further into the matter money archetype, where we take care of other people's needs, forgetting our own. So you'll find most professional women, especially those who they earn well, they have good positions, they have a very domineering matter money archetype, such that because of that archetypal setting, if it has not been transformed, you'll find that even the person you attract in your life will be someone who will depend on you. You'll be somebody who you will be the breadwinner. So when you attract this kind of person in your life, yeah, it would be difficult because of that archetypal setting, even demanding of them to do more, to be more creative, to be more innovative, to even look at them as someone who can do something becomes very difficult. You'll always look at them as a needy, someone who needs my help because of the domineering matter money archetype. With that, many women end up disabling their spouses, disabling their children, and you find that this primary breadwinner story goes on for a lifetime until you die. Yeah, so I hope that answers your question, Lillian. Yeah? That yes, it's true. That's why it needs to be checked and managed, and you see which boundaries you need to put in place so that you are not swept away with this archetypal setting. Okay, so your money patterns play a big role. Something else that I want to speak about the matter money archetype, how it affects professional women when it comes to earning. You find that with this archetypal setting, there's a way that it creates an undeservingness. I do not deserve. So even when you're given larger roles, more demanding roles, you can take up the role, but not equally demand for or request for a financial equivalence, a monetary equivalence. Yeah. I know I have clients here who have had to move roles, have had to renegotiate, and they could see clearly how this archetypal setting was affecting until we had to influence that process and they could negotiate better. Yeah. So the matter money archetype affects your earning big time. You find you're always not earning your worth, either because of negotiating how you show up, what according to you state is enough. It becomes a big challenge. So I would encourage that you do your individual money coaching to transform your money archetypal setting. Yeah, because money is an inside game. That is one key aspect to do for you to transform, to rise above the breadline. Because you can work on the numbers, but you keep sabotaging yourself through this process. And that process begins with a discovery call, a one-on-one virtual initial diagnostic process, where we'll help you uncover how you're hardwired around money, and the issues that stem from your money patterns. And this not only impacts your financial life, it also impacts your work big time, your relationships. Your archetypal setting affects your relations. And in fact, also when you have a breadwinner role, it has a big impact on how your perception around that position. Hi, Jennifer hasn't talked, I've just realized. Welcome, Jennifer. Then you'll determine the reason why
Thank
you may
you.
not hitting your, I'd like to hear your voice. You may not be hitting your desired money goals. Yeah. All of us have the money goals like we stated. Why are you coming up to a certain point and getting stuck? How can you reconcile your current earning model with your money goals? And then you'll get the roadmap on how to hit your desired money goals faster and with clarity. How much is a discovery call? It's 6,500. 6,500, you'll do your money quiz and your discovery questionnaire. Then you book a 90-minute session online for us to do your assessment. So with that, I close as I invite those who don't have the money journal to get a copy, and in the hub we'll give it now for 1,000 shillings, and then 1,000 Kenya shillings. And in this money journal, you'll get, it's a hands-on guide for you and your money on your recipe to financial freedom, money attraction formula, and you'll also look at the guide to your financial well-being. Oh, Jelena has shared the link. And I encourage you to also subscribe to our YouTube channel. At this point, I need to hear the voice of Jennifer. Jennifer, we haven't had you here for long, and we are very happy.
Thank you, Edith. I won't put on my camera. I'm in pajamas.
Okay.
But next time I will.
All
No,
right.
it's been a very interesting conversation. You know, I was just reflecting as you were talking, because I work a lot with young career women, especially. I'm a coach. So, and some of the things, you know, a lot of them, this whole issue of being the sole breadwinner, or, you know, being married to somebody who's not really doing much with their lives, if I may put it that way, career-wise. I think it's a very serious issue now in relationships. And I think what I have noticed is that you meet a lot of young women who say that they're very independent, they don't mind being the breadwinners until they're actually in that situation. And then you realize that actually women are not wired to take on that role. So it causes a lot of stress and a lot of strain. And one of the ladies I recently worked with was actually pursuing a divorce. And even though that was not what we were discussing, it came up in one of our conversations. And I asked her, I mean, what is it why are you so angry? So because I thought that the reason was because she's tired of being the one, you know, looking after the family and everything. And what she said to me is, I'm very angry with my husband because he has left me vulnerable to attention from other men. And for me, that was very profound. So when I look at this topic, I look at it from very many angles. And I think women really are struggling with it. And I commend you for addressing it. Because I mean, I've picked up a lot of stuff from this conversation that I think will be useful in my conversations with other people, and also in also reevaluating, you know, some of the situations I find myself in. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jennifer. Great to have you. Right. If there's any question, feel free. We are past time by 15 minutes, though I appreciate the discussion. We started 5 minutes late. I like keeping and respecting your time. From what I've heard, each of you is living with something. Most important is that we apply it in our lives and make something change financially. The Money Coaching Hub is a space that should lead us to hit our financial goals with ease and peace of mind. And with that, we come to the close of our session.